Welcome to the Life Lift Podcast, the podcast for the ambitious, the purpose-driven, and the ones who know they're meant for more. If you're ready to unlock the next version of yourself, you're in the right place.
Hey everyone, I'm Kaly.
And I'm Adam, and this podcast is for people who are done playing small. Whether you're building a business, rethinking your identity, or just craving more from life.
We're two friends, entrepreneurs and growth junkies who have built businesses, hit burnout, and found our way back to purpose. And now we're here to help you do the same, but faster, clearer, and without breakdown. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Life Lift Podcast with Adam and Kaly. It's great for you to join us today. Today we are going to be speaking all about how to reinvent yourself, and we're going to share our personal journeys of how we've reinvented ourselves throughout our lives so far, through some bumps in the road, some real highs that have really led us to question who we are, what we do for a living, and really how we want to present ourselves to the world. Kaly, let me ask you, you have gone through such a massive transition period, I would say, over the last little while. What has triggered you to go through this metamorphosis that you've been going through?
Well, I think to start off with why reinventing is important is Karl Lagerfeld said when he took on Chanel that the art of staying relevant is to consistently reinvent yourself. So I think when we're young in our teenage years, we are kind of reinventing ourselves when we're trying to find our identity. So you have like blue hair, then you cut it off, and then you pluck your eyebrows, and that is us subconsciously trying to find our identity by just reinventing until we feel comfortable. But you get to your late 20s, you just have your look, you know what you like to wear, and then it's so easy to just become stagnant, or you fall into society's roles. So then I became a mom and you're a dad, and this is what we do, and that's where we eat, and it starts to become, life becomes a bit boring. So for me, the wake up call was at the end of last year. It was Christmas time, and I was so bored. I was like, I wear the same 6 things in my wardrobe. There's no point in me having anything else. Whenever it's a Sunday, it's time to go out. There's 2 places that we choose from. And I was just bored. I was bored of routine. So the reinvention really got triggered from that. But I think when you open up Pandora's box, you realize that there's so many more aspects to it. I think there's 5 fundamental aspects to reinventing yourself. And then I've found that out throughout the year. So the first thing you want to do is your image. So you want to lose weight, you maybe get a haircut and you get a spray tan. Then you realize that that's not quite enough. Then you want to start changing your mindset, and that's not enough. Then you look at the people around you, then that's not enough. And it snowballs into the phoenix that rises from the ashes. So I think that that's what we were saying before we started. I do think that I'm still very much finding that. I'm changing every 8 weeks, and it's exciting again. Life's just fun again.
It is exciting.
Yeah, you've transferred so many times. When I look at your photos, like your hair's changing, your outfit. There's a lot of nipple on show at the moment. I'm
going through my sheer period.
Yeah, I like it. I'm here for it.
Oh my God. So you know what? I think so many people, I think, get stuck, don't they, in who they think they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to dress, like how they're supposed to wear their clothes even. I mean, I could wear literally something that cost me £2 and would still make it look
because you're
bougie.
Stylish. Yeah.
Thank you, darling. So, but like, you know, I think a lot of people, they get stuck in this rut of like needing to conform to what, I don't know, like their parents think it should be, or their friends. What's normal, yeah. And
that's my biggest fear, is being normal.
Well, I bucked against that a long time ago.
I know.
Serious. I just think
you're so far from normal.
Thank you. I think that's
a compliment.
Thank you. I always just wanted to like, why try to blend in with everybody else? And I think I've always had this like preppy look from the outside. I mean, like I think I came out of the womb with like a little blazer and
Ralph Lauren.
And chinos.
You should have called you Ralph. Yeah.
I should have been Ralph Lauren. I think so. And but I think as I've got older, I've always. I think it's because I'm a bit rebellious. If someone says you shouldn't do that, like the sheer stuff. So I remember I was. So we did our first cruise like a year or so ago. And
that was only your first one?
Yeah. And I've done like, I don't know, 100, a bazillion since then. I'm addicted. So Virgin Voyages, by the way, I'm not on commission, but totally recommend.
Soon, it's coming.
Soon, yeah. And so I saw all these like really cool tops. Like you've seen loads of them already now. And I always, like, say 10 years ago, I would have thought I could not wear that because someone's gonna either slur me for being gay, or I don't have the body for it, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think you always look at the negatives of you. Like, I'm slim anyway. I've never been.
Jealous.
Yeah, this has been my size since 16, pretty much.
So jealous.
And in like the gay world, if you don't have loads of muscles,
it's not a good thing.
yeah, well, like gays are supposed to hit the gym, have massive pecs.
Well, what about bears? I found out the hard way what bears are. In Rome, this is totally off piece. In Rome, I got invited to a bear party.
How?
I was having drinks at this bar, and it was called Coming Out. I don't know why I didn't even put two and two together. The music was amazing, the vibe was great. And I was like, this is good. And then the bar closed, and the guys that we were sharing a table with were like, come to this party, it's a bear party. And I was thinking lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my
God.
I turned up and I found out what bear was. And I think if I was gay, that'd be my type. That would be my type.
Serious?
Yeah, like a big beef daddy. Beef.
That is for sure.
Bears are gay term for big, fat, hairy men.
Yeah.
That's my type.
Give over. I don't believe
Hagrid,
this.
drop your drawers.
Shut
I
up.
think
You
I'm
cannot
ovulating.
be
We need to
serious.
cut that out.
I think you're on heat or something
No,
right now.
I think I am. But I think if I was gay, it wouldn't be muscles. It'd be
Really?
big beef daddies. Yeah. I love a dad bod.
Well, I'm into like the
I
muscles,
love
definitely.
a dad bod. I'm being
Really?
serious.
Well, I did not have you pegged for that.
I know. See the Veet and muscles? No, baby. No.
Really?
No, baby. I need like a little gut.
No.
here. Yeah.
Serious? Well, I'm not judging.
Makes
I mean,
me feel
each
skinny.
to their own. That's for different reasons, though. So anyway, I was saying, I've got so many mental images right now.
I know.
That
I need to tell you
can't
about
share.
it off camera. It was one of the nicest, wildest nights of my life. I had
gays
such a
are
good
good.
time. Yeah, it was Ricky Martin the whole night. It was amazing.
Iconic.
He is hot.
So I can't even remember what I was talking about now.
So you did your first cruise, and the
Yes.
other tops that you're looking at.
Yeah, that's my point. But it's actually not even about the clothes. I think it's just about like, we have to, for me, I just kind of got to this point where I thought, you know what, it's a
Give yourself
lovely
permission.
top. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to wear it. And you know what, every time I wear it, I always get loads of compliments on it. Anyway.
Yeah, because you wear it.
I wear it.
It doesn't wear
me.
you.
Yeah. But I think my point is, though, is that it's actually got nothing to do with what I wear. It's all to do with the attitude and
Yeah,
like
your mindset.
the mindset. Yeah. And
100%.
And I think that's a huge part of reinventing yourself. And people say to me all the time, oh, I could never be like that. You know, it's okay for you to be like that, but I could never. I'm quite direct. I don't know if you know this. And like so many people say to me all the time, oh, I could just never be as bold as you are. I could never go up to somebody and say that. And I say, well, why? Like, you've got a mouth, you've got legs.
Yeah, and you have
just
an opinion.
Go
Say
do it, you know.
yeah.
And I think it's the mindset that you have to get over, which is that often holds you back from actually saying what you want to say, be who you want to be.
And getting what you deserve.
Yeah, and also I think getting the respect that a lot of people want. You know, so one of my team, she's like the most lovely person. Would never really argue, but to me, she's like, "Oh my God, this and this and this." And if I had the guts like you, I would say this to her and blah blah blah. Huh. And so anyway, just at the weekend there, her mum said something to her, and she would normally just like keep quiet, and inside she'd be fuming. But then at the weekend, she Adam Morganed her. She said she texted me at the weekend. She's like, "Oh my God, I've just done an Adam Morgan tactic." I told her what I said, and then her mum like got upset with her. Went quiet, and then she came and apologized after and said, you know what, you're actually right.
Well
I do
done.
that all the time. And I think that's a huge part of reinventing yourself, of becoming who you want to be, is sometimes if everything feels safe, you're doing something wrong.
100%. That is a big one that I was going to say, is when you reinvent yourself, you have to have a clear image of who you want to become.
Yes.
And then move in the way that she would move, make decisions in the way that she would make, wear what she would wear until you become her. And I know in one of our episodes we were talking about fake it till you make it, and you were like, I hate that. But this is kind of how I apply that term. Like, I want to be a MILF. Okay, MILFs move like this. MILFs put makeup on, and MILFs wear this, and they smell like that. And so I just acted until I embodied her. Mm-hmm. Then you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a boss, you want to own your own cosmetic line. you got to make decisions like you're already that person.
Exactly, yeah.
If you don't have a clear image where you're going to go, it's like getting into the car and being like, let's go. Where do you want to go?
Going?
Yeah, you need to have a destination, and then you can work your way back from that. So the number one point of reinventing yourself, before the mindset stuff, before the nipples come out, is actually, where do you want to go? Like, who do you want to be?
I want to go on a Virgin voyage in a sheer
I
top. That's where I want to go.
Yeah. I want to be in Monaco.
Yeah, totally.
Like forever.
So
with my big bear daddy.
We need to work on that.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a moment.
Yeah.
But you need to have your purpose or your aim, your final vision of who you are.
I think it's vision. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I think too many people don't dream enough about their own life, of what they think it could be. And I'm here to tell you, you can honestly become anybody that you want to be.
100%.
You have to, though, be prepared to let go of everything that made you who you are today. And I think that's what I've learned, is that as I've moved closer to the person I want to be, and truly, I don't know if you ever are who you really are in that sense, because you're always
evolving
becoming
all the time. Yeah.
But I think if you're never stepping towards it, you're never growing towards that, then it is going to feel safe. You're going to feel really comfortable, probably stagnant, bored. And I think the great thing about life is that actually today more than ever, you don't need to be stagnant. You can create any part of your life that you want to. And all it really takes, really when you boil down to it, is a bit of bravery.
Yeah.
Guts. Step out your comfort zone. Find some people that think the same as you do.
And some audacity. You need to be audacious.
Be bold.
The other thing is, if you don't know, because I have a few friends I'm thinking of that are like, okay, but I actually don't know who I want to be. But you know what you don't want to be. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to be bored. I don't want to have to put on outfits and nothing look good on me anymore. Mm-hmm. So you just make that small change, and then the next version of you know what you don't want of that one, and you make that change, and then you slowly, until you have you heard of the marble of David theory?
What's this?
So this Michelangelo would have had like a huge bold rock of marble, huge marble, and then he's had to envision David and then slowly carve him out. But when he got it, it was just a massive
chunk
marble.
of marble. Yeah.
You got to have that vision of yourself before you start carving. So if you don't know what David's going to look like, you at least know if he's sitting or standing. And then you go from the body. And then as you unravel that, you then figure out, like, is he smiling? Is he sad? Is he... And so even if you don't have, like, you and I are really bold, we know what we want, we're go-getters. But there are people out there, I know we don't understand them, that don't know what they want. But at least you know what you don't want. Yeah. So just start
move away from that.
Yeah, go away from that. And the second part, which leads us to our second part, is moving away from people, moving away from your old self, is you got to be prepared to audit your environment. And that could be who you're hanging out with. It could be where you're hanging out with, like what you consume, and that's music, food, everything. Yeah. And then change the part, again, if you don't know what you want, you know what you don't want. So I don't like drinking. I just don't like it. I make really bad decisions food-wise on the night. The next day I'm like nervous, I'm anxious, I like cancel that whole day out, I'm sluggish, like my tummy's not right. So I just don't want to drink. I don't know what I want to substitute for it. I do now, it's alcohol-free espresso martinis. But I just made that change. And people are like, how do you still go out at nighttime? And because I can still go and enjoy myself. I don't need alcohol to have a good time. And then as soon as you're all getting like leery and too much, I can just step away from that. Because again, I've audited my environment. I've decided I don't want to be around people that are reckless. So then I just leave, protect my peace, and I'm sober. Yeah. Skincared in bed for 2 a.m.
Zen.
2016 Kaly would not know me right now.
That's growth though.
She would not know me.
But that's all about reinventing yourself and becoming who you want to be. Someone said to me a long time ago that you can only, you know how I've talked about this before, you can only be who you actually really are. You can reproduce it. You can't fake it. This is why I have this rub with fake till you make it, because for me, you don't actually need to fake it. You're not faking anything by becoming who you want to be. You're just moving and evolving away from what you were. And I think to put into if you're not constantly putting things into your body or into your mind, into your heart, your spirit, whatever, you consider your being, if you're not topping that up with stuff that's going to move you towards where you want to be, you're not going to move. You know, it's like going to the gym and not actually eating a great diet, or
not lifting. You're in the gym, but you're not even lifting.
Yeah, you know, I think holistically and as a human being, our physical image is one huge portion of how people perceive us. But I think if you want to feel truly
aligned,
yeah, and at peace with who you are, internal and external, you have to get both in the right measure. You know, we live in a really superficial world, don't we? You know, people do judge you based on how you look. And whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing doesn't really matter. It's still true. People judge you. And anyone that says that they don't is a liar.
In denial.
But I think what's on the inside of that actually is the real who you are. And if you're not putting into that, and this is why I'm a huge fan of reading books that are going to fulfill you or teach you something. I think, you know, we could probably easily in the show notes of today's episode put books that have helped us along the way, and we should probably do that actually.
Just now. This is the one I told you about last time we told you about.
One of the best books I ever read was The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and I tell you, it's by John Maxwell. It's an incredible book, and it's basically all about how to lead your life in the direction that you want it. And honestly, I can't recommend that book highly enough to anybody. But for me, if you want to grow, if you want to develop, if you want to move away from any area of your life that's stagnant or isn't growing right now, then you have to put something different in place. You've got to fertilize the soil. You've got to actually make sure that you've got some good stuff going in there, and you're surrounded by people that are enabling your growth. Why would you put a tomato plant in a dark room with people or with soil that isn't going to fertilize it? You have to give it the right conditions to grow. And when I was younger, I was part of a band.
Shut up.
I was the singer.
You have lived 900 lives. You're the singer.
I was the singer, yeah. I also play keys. And do you know, it's
Stevie Wonder, where'd you come from?
Yeah, with vision. And when I think about it now, I really miss that part of my life, and I need to.
It's artistic.
It's definitely my creative thing. But I want to get that part of me back. But I tell you, the reason I did it was because when I was young, I was painfully shy. And I remember we've talked about this before. Would always go red if someone spoke to me or if someone asked me a question. You know, I was very much raised just be quiet all the time. Don't touch, don't look, just keep yourself. And I remember looking at all these people around me who I thought, oh my God, I would love to be like that. But it was so. At the time, I just thought I could never be that person. And the reality is that sometimes you do need to put yourself in difficult situations or places that physically make you tremble and uncomfortable to force you to think and have a bit of an awakening moment.
And be that person.
Yeah. One of the bosses that I had very early on, her name was Karen, and she was a Miss Wales. She was beautiful, like inside and out. She was so good. And she was ferocious, this woman. People, you know, had a bit of a rub with her at times, but for me, she took me under her wing, and she would put me in uncomfortable situations to force me to grow. And sometimes if you don't have that drive, you know, that I have now, sometimes you actually need someone to pluck you out where you are and say, we're going to this tonight, dress something, dress cute. Yeah, we're going. And because it forces you to become a different person, it forces you to meet different people. And
because you're not going to feel up to it every single day.
Absolutely not. But you got to go anyway. Yeah. And that's the thing.
Or where the opportunity comes and you're not feeling it, somebody has to be like, well, I've booked this ticket, let's go.
Exactly. That saying, have you heard it? That if you're scared, do it scared anyway.
Yeah.
Just do it anyway. And have you ever done a skydive?
Oh my God, I just couldn't. But I don't see any growth in that. I would just die.
Yeah, but you totally need to. Because honestly, the first time I did a sky, I've done 2, and I would do another one tomorrow. I love it. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Yeah.
I could never.
But
oh my God.
I did it because I was terrified. And I remember I
won't even ice skate.
What?
Because what if I fell and I broke my wrist or they sliced my fingers?
But what if you have a great time and you're like an Olympic champion?
Did you imagine? Oh, I don't know.
You'd look really cute in those outfits.
I would look so cute.
You would.
As an ice skater. But I'm very risk averse in things that I'm pragmatic about. So I understand taking risks in life and your mindset and like businesses and opportunities that come. I'm like, I'm going to risk it. What's there to lose? But see things that like I could actually physically, like I would never cycle downhill on a bike.
What?
No way. I screamed my lungs off when my dad got me rollerblades for Christmas one year. I was like, you want me to die?
We need to go and do a skydive. I'm telling you.
I'm so risky.
You'll be a different person.
I think it's because I'm not confident in my physical ability to stop a crash. And that's what it is. I need to train myself. That is so poignant. That's why I'm scared. I don't want to go downhill because I don't trust myself enough to control the bike if I had to stop in a safe way.
There's such a big lesson in this.
I know.
But the whole point of this, though, is that you can't control it anyway. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but in business, I feel like I can because I'm confident in my skill set.
But it's an illusion.
Oh, no, Adam.
Just watch this space, folks. We're just having some therapy here.
Yeah, but then it's going to cut to us like diving out Dubai.
We should totally do that. Oh my God.
We should. Oh God,
okay. We'll come back. Your hair will be like this.
Yeah.
My hair will just probably look exactly the same as it does now. But the point of this is, though, maybe that is the point, though, is that how do you know?
To have a safety blanket, yeah.
Yeah, and I think for whatever reason you're clinging to not doing it, or like how I did it purely because I was in charge of a team at the time, and we were raising money for charity, and I was terrified. And inside, I couldn't let on that I was so scared because I was trying to like cheer everyone else up. And I was like the head of HR for quite a big digital company now, and there was like 100 people going, and I was like cheerleading, spearheading this, like, come on, we got to do this. I couldn't then not do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was the first one out, and I did it because I had to prove a point to myself that if I'm going to rally the troops, and I'm going to, say that I can do it, I've got to do it, and I've got to do it scared. And you know what? I would have.
Oh my God,
it was terrifying, but I'm so glad I did it.
My heart would stop.
But that's helped me so much in other areas of my life, though, because now I think if I can jump out of a plane at 15,000 feet,
you can make that uncomfortable phone call.
I can make an uncomfortable, Or I can put myself. I can do a speech to more people than I've ever done before. I can turn up at an event where I don't know anybody. You know what I mean? It helps in so many areas, and that's why I think it doesn't matter that you expand your comfort zone in one area. It doesn't work like that. It's not like an uneven circle. It grows your whole being when you do things that make you uncomfortable.
But my version of bungee jumping is cold plunging, because that's painful. Have you done a cold plunge?
I haven't.
Okay, fine.
But it's not for fear. Yeah.
And I will skydive.
Okay.
On a simulator thing.
No, we've got to actually do it
initially. But
it's not the same.
A cold plunge is painful. It's like physically uncomfortable, mentally uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I've done it a few times now, and anytime I'm in a very uncomfortable, even if it's a conversation with a patient, I'm like, this is so uncomfortable. I think if I have the mental capacity to hold myself underwater for 2 minutes at 5 degrees, I can do this. And that's like everything in my body, every cell in my body is saying, get out. It's not safe. And you have to fight your mind to say, you're going to be fine. I'm more than capable. Even though I know physically it is putting me in an uncomfortable position, but I can still do it.
Yeah.
So that's my version of a bungee jump, is every now and then I start getting comfortable, and I'm starting to say no to things because I'm tired. I'm like, it's time for a cold plunge, baby. I get the hose, and I've got it in my house.
Really?
I just fill it up and I get in. Or you go to a spa.
Yeah. I've got a hot tub outside. I could maybe do it in there. 37 degrees.
It's got to be painful. You need to do it.
I do a lot of other painful stuff, though.
I know. And I remember the first time I did it, I said, it was with a guy called Stevie, who's the guy that I've told you about.
Yes, I know. Who hopefully we're going to get on the podcast at some point.
I honestly admire him so much. I said, he was like, why don't you want to do it? And I said, my life is uncomfortable enough. And he said, but this will show you how to seek comfort. That was a big, big statement. This will show you how to seek comfort.
Okay, I'll
try. I was
like,
okay. And I got in, and every cell in my body was like, stand up, stand up, stand up. But because everybody was watching me and he was there, I didn't want to let anyone down. But you just acclimatize. See, once you tune in, it takes about 15 seconds. You realize, actually, I'm okay. I can do this.
I think that's so, I don't know what the word is here, but that same feeling is, I think, in so many different areas of life, though. Yeah. That once you do it, it's painful to start, but it does, you acclimatize. It's liberating, and you grow.
Though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's liberating to stand up when he's like, okay, that's you. And you stand up and you go, oh my God, I did it. You've almost proven yourself wrong, which is very rare for people like you and I that are constantly striving, achieving, ticking the box, striving, achieving, ticking the box. And I really want to make it clear that that is not linear. Like it's up, down, and round and round. But we at least set out to achieve what we wanted to achieve. It's really rare that we're in positions where I doubt myself and then I prove myself wrong. And that's another thing that I love about cold plunging, where I'm constantly being like, oh no, I really can't do it this time. Like we put ice in it. And you do, and you stand up, and that like, it's like a drug. It's literally like a drug. And then you're just high for the rest of the day.
What you just said there, I think it's quite interesting, is that for people like us that don't often put ourselves, or we don't feel like, what was that you said? You said it really well there. You basically, the point what you were saying is that people like us, we don't often feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
or we can.
That's not always been the case though.
No, oh my God. Listen, as an immigrant, I've been the most uncomfortable in every aspect, from the way I looked, to my accent, to where I felt like I was imposing myself in the classroom. I was imposing myself in the country. I was imposing myself at university. Sorry, I can't believe I got that job over you, and I shouldn't even be here. I have been uncomfortable from 1995. Even now, like when I get asked to do speeches and I stand up, I'm like, oh my God, everyone else is white male. I can't believe I'm here. It is uncomfortable, but my mindset has decided to give myself permission that I belong there. Because up until my mindset changed, I would stand up on stage and you could see it. I've seen videos of people who have like tagged me in stories, and I'm like, put your shoulders up, put yourself back. Like put your voice out. Somebody's asked you to be there because you belong there. But speak. It's until you give yourself permission to become people like us, because it's uncomfortable all the time. Even we've got a few things coming up where we're going to be doing talks, or we're open. I think Adam's been doing this as a job. He's been in Vegas and bungee jumped, and he's had 9 lives, and he had a band, and I'm going to stand there next to you and be like, oh, I'll let him lead. But
you should not.
There's a big part of me that will say, no, speak. Like it's a co-host, but I don't want people to think that because we have the mindset and the power to speak that we're not uncomfortable. I am uncomfortable. I just use it to anyway. Power. That's my fuel. The more uncomfortable I am, the more powerful I'm going to present, because I want to make sure that I'm not going to flop. Or when I jump out the plane, I don't triple off. Like I fly out the plane. You got to do it with conviction. The power of your conviction is all, I don't know if you've heard of the power of conviction in lawyers. Like if you're going to say something, you got to say it with backing until you almost convince yourself. And that's my cold plunge. I'm like, oh, shit, I actually did that. I mean, no, of course I can do that. And then you just do that cycle again and again and again.
That's the exact same for me. But I think...
When are you uncomfortable?
I'm uncomfortable all the time. Like what we were talking about in the kitchen just before. So I'm working on a couple of projects at the moment that you know about. And they scare me. They absolutely terrify me, because
that's so exciting.
The thing, I've never done it before. And I don't actually know a massive amount about it.
Or where to start. But you have a
vision.
I
know where to start now. But I didn't 12 months ago. And I think a lot of people, you know, the stats on how many businesses fail.
Restaurants. It's 73% of restaurants close within the first year.
Exactly. Like most businesses fail. Like I think it's something like 4 out of 5 businesses fail within the first 12 months. Like that is a scary number.
But 1 in 5.
But 1 in 5, and that's the one that I see. I don't see the 4.
Same.
I see the one that's done really, really well. And I look around and I see opportunity everywhere. And it's only, I would say, this last few years that I've started to believe that I'm capable of this. And it's not that I didn't think I was capable before in a huge way, but I just thought, well, that's all right for them. But now it's time for me. You know, and I actually have more in the skills, in the tool chest than what, you know,
your armor is stronger.
Yeah, the armor is stronger. And I've got more tools. I think that's the thing. And I think now, if I can't do this, there's something
then who
wrong.
Else can?
Exactly. I've built my life in such a way now that I've become very, very capable at doing some things very, very well. And I look at people I admire, like Richard Branson is a huge one for me.
Him.
And he is not a pilot of a plane, and yet he owns an airline. And I love the fact that, for me, he is almost, in many ways, reinvented himself many, many times. You know, he's always been who he is, but every time he gets bigger and the shell gets bigger that he grows into. And for me, that's where I think for me, I'm at now, is that people say life starts at 40. I actually do feel that, genuinely.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah, and so I think what my point is to anyone that's listening to this is, if you have a desire inside of you that is so strong, it does not go away.
Yeah.
You have to do something. Well, you've got a choice. Do I move towards it, or do I move away from it? Because ultimately, I'm a big believer that opportunities come and then they go.
Yeah.
And you have to spot when is the right time to walk through a door and when's the right time to close it.
Or strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, because opportunities come and go. And you know, I've got a few opportunities right now that if I don't walk through those doors, they are going to go and I won't get the opportunity again. I know it. And so what I'm saying is that, you know, I am, as much as people think I look confident, I've got it all together. I've got the perfect house, you know, the loving marriage. I've got kids that are doing good. I've got whatever stuff I need. Actually, when you boil down to it, none of that matters. The thing that I've realized now for me is that the reinvention is the movement towards who you actually want to be, and utilizing all of the tools that you've put so much time and effort in over the years, consistently, you know, year after year, to hone, same as you. You know, you didn't just get good at doing what you do and becoming who you are now.
I was learning yesterday.
Exactly.
I'm constantly reinventing.
All the people that we know and our friends, the people we surround ourselves, you know, the people that are in this room today as we record this, they've got good at what they do by consistently doing what they've done over a period of time. And I think now as I gear forward and gear up towards what's coming, same with you. And if you're listening to this at home and you feel the same way, my advice would be lean into that hard. And
be patient, but be relentless.
But also make it happen. Opportunity does not just come. You make it happen. And every door I've ever walked through, I walked to that door first. It didn't walk to me. And I think that's the big thing that I'm now looking forward to about this next chapter in my life. And you know, same with you, I know for sure as well, is we've walked towards so many doors that now are just starting to open. And it's not a coincidence. And it's the same for you as you're listening to this in your car or at work or wherever it is that you're listening to this, is you gotta walk towards the doors. And that's the consistency part. That's the preparation.
Yeah.
Once you get to the door, you got to be bold enough to walk through it. And that's where doing a skydive, for me, it unlocked something that I just thought, it can't be worse than that. So
that's a cold plunge.
I should just go for it. It's your cold plunge, you know? And so whatever it is that you need to do, you got to do something that makes you so uncomfortable that you think, oh my God, if I can do that, this is easy.
Yeah.
And then you go for it, you know? And so I think in terms of reinventing yourself, I think what I've learned so far up to chapter 40 is be bold, lean into the things that feel good when you do them. And I'm not talking about alcohol or drugs or you know, sex, all that kind of stuff, but I'm talking about like things that make you internally happy, that you feel joy. And, you know, and when you do it, it makes your life better. Those are the things that you should probably be leaning into. And you will attract your people, which we're going to talk about in another episode. You know, you'll come across people like we have our, you know, path is intertwined so much over the last 10 years. And so, because, you know, you find people that are aligned with you. And then I think your physical body is a huge part of that, your mental capacity, your heart, what that does, and your overall body, spirit, whatever you want to call that. So
that's your takeaway from today.
That's my takeaway.
You got to lean into it.
Lean into it.
Be patient, but relentless.
Yeah.
Mine is definitely have a vision of who you want to be. And always make decisions towards that, even on days that you're not feeling it. Just remind yourself who you want to be and how she or he would act. And to give yourself permission to be that person. Like none of this imposter. And like we've said, we both still have that imposter syndrome, but give yourself permission, have a vision, lean into it, and be consistent and give yourself grace. So if you've learned anything from today, please like, share, follow, and subscribe, and join us more for more exhilarating stories that we're happy to share. From your friends, Adam and Kaly. Bye.
Bye. This is the Life Lift podcast with Adam and Kaly, where we look at how to make shift happen. From our home to yours, we hope you feel inspired and motivated to do at least one thing differently today as you make your own shift happen towards a more rewarding and fulfilling life filled with purpose and happiness.